What's poppin', everybody? Cerebral24. Like I've said in the last match, when we're gonna be uploading some more matches with Malamar for the rotation, Malamar Necrozma GX, and this time it's gonna be up against one of the newer guys from Celestial Storm. That's kind of so-so. Some people think it's great. Some people think he's not that great. It's gonna be Scizor GX. Scizor GX along with Zoroark GX are gonna partner up for nice little combo here, even though it's not so nice. So, Scizor GX, new card from Celestial Storm, can do some shit, but it really revolves around a lot of what your opponent is going to do. And usually, cards like that don't end up being that great, unless just no matter what your opponent does, they're at a pretty big disadvantage. Like, they have the option, but no matter what they do, the effect is just too great. But that's not really the case with Scizor here. So he's going to open up with the Scyther. The Scyther is kind of decent too. I believe this is the Scyther art from EX Team Rocket, so they really did nice on the whole revamp Scizor EX Scyther revamp shit from EX Team Rocket. But it's nice in the fact that you can use the first attack, and it's like a mini Call for Family just for Scyther. I think you can get like 1 or 2, something like that. The second attack, I don't really know what it does, but it probably does some damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to discard Mime with the Mystery Treasure and start getting my little NKs out. So we already have 2 out. This is good. And actually, we're going to play down their Hoop AX too. It's going to be nice because I'm thinking if I really get lucky since I'm playing first, get out the Malamars, attach a bunch of energies, and get it ready. By the time he plays down Scythers and Zoruas and stuff, I should be able to get some free 1-prize snipe knockouts. So this is good. Okay, we have our Cynthia and random receiver for next turn. And let's see what my opponent is going to do. Starting off with the Brigitte. Alright, Brigitte turn 1. Standard first stuff. He's going to get, let's see. I've already said that this deck is a Scizor Zoroark GX. I mean, you guys know from the title. But, alright. Hurry up, taking his time here. What will you get? And it is 3 Zoruas. Surprise, surprise. So he's favoring that Pokemon, it seems. He wants to get them out quick. I guess to be able to draw cards, it makes sense. But he didn't attach any energies, didn't make any other moves. Just used Brigitte and passed. So this is already a sign to me like this is not a very super great deck, like maybe very consistent and shit. I played down the Hoopa down, which, I mean, I had a feeling was probably maybe not a great idea, but not a bad idea too, because I really want to take advantage of my speed factor here. Draw as many cards, so, draw as many cards with Cynthia so we can get our pieces together and do shit. And I really want to put the discard pile or just grab the energy, I guess. But Ultra of the Moon can be pretty valuable, so we get that and discard the energy, of course. Get that in the discard pile there where it's supposed to be. So I have 2 NKs down, so 2 spots for Malamar and no spot for Dawnwing's Necrozma. But, you know, like I've said in the other video, it's pretty self-explanatory really. With Zoroark GX around, you really don't want to play that guy down. It's just too easy. Giratina only gives 1 prize, so I don't care that much. But Dawnwing's Necrozma GX is just too simple. But it is gonna bite me in the ass because not having Dawnwing's Necrozma around with the Float Stone really makes your bench and active position awkward a lot of the times. And you can't really do much about it. Especially if your opponent is in a weird position too, where maybe they're not getting knockouts and you promote your dude with the Float Stone and they do some sort of slow setup shit. You know, eventually that can act to their benefit. Okay, so my opponent brought out the first Zoroark GX. I used some trade and discarded the Agerola, probably realizing that I'm going to aim for 1-hit knockouts here, of course, with Malamar here. And yeah, that's the issue that I'm mainly meant when talking about Scizor. why it makes it not so good, because he needs to be at a certain HP for his attacks to get really broken for cheap energy. And smart players aren't really going to get into that. They're not really going to, okay, let me just put a bunch of damage, not knock you out, and I activate your ability. No, they're going to make sure they get one-hit knockouts, or make their damage so that they can get maybe a two-hit knockout, but Scizor doesn't activate its ability. So he probably realizes this and used Aguirola, discarded Aguirola with trade-in, brings out another Zoroark GX and he used the Call for Family attack for a Scyther, attached to Metal Energy. So another little Scyther comes out on the bench, and this basically means that he had another slow turn, and this is really, really bad for him. I don't know if this guy has the best list for Zoroark Scizor GX, but I really don't feel like it. It just seems like Scizor drags down Zoroark GX. That's my theory, I guess. I mean, you have that other attacker, but why not just use Benetti GX instead? I don't know. I mean, I get the appeal of Scizor, why people will want to use it. It's not weak. It's that your opponent can play around it. So what would make it strong is just non-applicable. So I use my Guzma to bring out the Hoopa EX, and we use a little snipe here, Raikou EX style. I really wanted to knock out the Zorua, to be honest, and just get rid of the Zoroark GXs. However, the Scyther had the Metal Energy on, so I'm thinking, we have to get rid of that. If he had a DC on the Zorua, I was definitely going for that. Okay, but we get our first prize. My opponent has no energy in play once again, and I really dug the fact that, of course, I knocked out a Pokemon with an energy that didn't really do shit. So I'm kind of in control here, but this is going to be the beginning of the whole awkward bench active position, with me basically making my own self stuck kind of thing. So my opponent used N, which is probably a great thing. I did have the random receiver and a bunch of energies. However, I think we could use a better hand, and we kind of do. I get a Mystery Treasure and a Malamar in here. The Nest Ball is quite useless, but I have the Cynthia anyway. But we're going to be able to get more Malamars out, so this is a good thing. I mean, to be fair, I only have a spot for one more, so Mystery Treasure not so good. So it's like I'm hoping my opponent starts knocking out my Pokemon, but he's gonna be very slow. Zoroark GX isn't really gonna do it. He's just gonna attack, do some damage, and while that basically gives him time to set up, and it gives me time, I guess, to slowly set up too. He gets the better advantage because he's gonna get the Zoroark GXs out and draw cards, and his late game, so to speak, is better than my late game. Since I'm faster and I got the lead, I want to keep at it. I don't want to just get stuck and not be able to attack. So check out my deck here and check out what we have. I only have so many switches to spare too. We used the Guzma. This was good. I only got one prize, but better than nothing. But we only have 2 switches. So without Dunwing's Necrozma GX, it's rough. I mean, I see the switch in the Floatstone now. So what this basically means is that I might be able to make a play here. So let's see. We're going to attach the energies on the Necrozma GX here. And unfortunately, since I don't have the third dude out, and because of the resistance, I mean, Zoroark GX has 210 HP anyway. But because of that, unfortunately, I can't quite get the knockout. I'm going to be forced to leave the Hoopa EX there to die. It really sucks. It really, really sucks, because your ideal setup is 3 Malamars down, Dunwing's Necrozma, of course, for the Floatstone, and the rest of the spots for attackers. But in this case, I have 4 attackers instead of, let's say, 2. Yeah, or 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So I guess I would have 3 attackers, that would be the case. So it's quite annoying, or 2 attackers. Anyway, my math is shit. But you guys get the idea. The ideal setup is to have a bunch of Malamars, Donmix across Magix. That guy can act as an attacker too, I guess, if push comes to shove. He's not bad. But you want to have those guys down, since Malamar has his limitations of only getting the energies on the bench. Alright, so my opponent brings out the Scizor GX. It's going to attach a metal energy, and he's being a smartass here. Well, not really a smartass, clever, but it is annoying for me, of course. Bringing out the Scizor GX and bringing out my my regular Necrozma GX, for fuck's sake, with the 3 energies on, and it really sucks that it gets the soft damage here, because Zoroark can't get a one-hit knockout. Since this isn't expanded, he can't do the Skyfield choice band shit. But softening up my Necrozma GX is annoying as fuck. At the very least, though, I am still going to be able to get maybe a one-hit knockout on this Scizor GX. What we have to do is attach 2 more energies, not 1, because unfortunately Scizor has 210 HP, has a resistance, and it blocks a good solid chunk of damage, 30, with this attack that does 100 or 90 or whatever the fuck it did. So that's annoying. That's really annoying. So there's no other way. Even with the Fighting Fury belt, even if I had it, which I don't, you probably don't get the knockout. So I'm forced to attach the 5th energy on Necrozma. So it's kind of annoying. It's not really as annoying as the fact that this dude managed to get damage on me. That's the more annoying part. But it is what it is. So we also use one of our switches, the golden switch there. And I use Cynthia here. We get the Ultra of the Moon and another Float Stone. And I have the Acrobike too. So let's retreat the Giratina and see what's going to happen. Get him a knockout, see what prize I get. Now technically my opponent hasn't taken any prizes yet. But I do have 2 hurt dudes, and you can easily pick them off with Guzma. This deck of course will run a couple, if not a full play set. So Field Blower and Psychic Energy is not really useful stuff for me to get. So annoying, man, so annoying. Because I know that this is a really easy matchup. Scizor GX is not really that good, especially against the Necrozma GXs, because they get one-hit knockouts. You can easily control what the fuck they do. Your dudes aren't even evolution Pokemon, so he can't surprise you with the GX attack either. So what? He only has the option of doing 100 and 80 and shit, blocking damage and all this stuff. So he's not really that good. Not really. So my opponent gets another Guzma here with Tapu Lele. I wonder what he's gonna do. He uses Field Blower, removes my Float Stone. That's annoying. I really need the damn Float Stones. Really need them since we can't even play down Donmix across my GX. N, so that's gonna put me in a bad position, only getting 3 cards, but I really didn't have all that great stuff in my hand either. We really want to see probably another switch here and the Float Stone, so maybe I can get another knockout, but that's gonna be it. The rest I kind of have to think of something. Now the really nice thing is that he has a little Scyther down there that hasn't evolved yet, and I really want to use Hoopa, get that knockout on that dude, an easy knockout, make use of Hoopa a little bit more since he's a sitting duck anyway with a 120 HP, and get that easy 1 prize. So then I only need to knock out one of his big dudes, because we can't really attach 5 energies 2 times, let's say, or attach 4 energies all day with only 2 Malamars. And I really don't want to knock out a GX Pokemon and knock out another GX Pokemon. So what he does, it promotes Zoroark GX, of course, gets an easy knockout on my dude. And what are we going to do here? I guess I promote Giratina. Don't have much of a choice here, but I really want to see. We have 2 Malamars here. I don't even need to see an energy. I only need to see a switching card. So I debate here to get Dynamax and Necrozma, play that guy on the bench, but really it's just you can't do it, man. I really debate hard, but I know that it's a sitting duck. So eventually, the best thing to get is Necrozma GX, because I'm gonna need that guy anyway. So might as well search him just in case we have difficulty later. What I am to do is use 1 knockout, get a knockout with Hoopa, and then Necrozma finishes the shit off. So with Acrobike, my only option is to get N. So let's see, are we gonna see shit? I need to see a switch or floatstone, and we fucking don't. Surprise there, seeing one of the 2 cards. So it is a sad fucking thing, but I am gonna be able to just not get a knockout anyway. Again, this turn. So we're gonna start powering up Necrozma GX. I mean, my opponent, he still needs to get like 2 knockouts on GX Pokemon. So it's not like he's sort of in a leading position or close for that matter. But it really sucks that I can't get a knockout this turn. And the worst thing is that he's probably going to evolve Scyther this turn into Scizor. And that basically ruins the whole plan. And not only makes Hoopa useless and a sitting duck there, it puts me in a really difficult position. We only have 1 Necrozma GX out, and he possibly won't be able to get 2 knockouts. So with so many trade-ins from Zoroark GXs, he's probably going to see what he wants to see. Scizor, or something like Guzma, or just something to ruin my plans. So fucking annoying as fuck. Zoroark GX is good because it's good. Damn. But really, as you guys can see, it's basically Zoroark GX that's doing all the work. Scizor hasn't really done shit, and he can't really do shit if he doesn't have its ability. It's just a pretty mediocre Pokemon without it. So my opponent's going to play the 2 Puzzles of Time, Broken. Those are basically the cards that saved his ass this game. He's going to use them, and he's going to grab... let me not spoil it for you yet. But you guys can imagine. He's definitely going to get a Guzma, and he's definitely going to get... let's see. Scizor, yeah. Obvious. So Scizor is going to evolve the Scyther. So no more Hoopa shit. And the Guzma, of course, he's going to use that and damage my Necrozma GX. It's so fucking annoying, man, because it really is so significant. It really is so significant. It's like I basically have the ability to be in control of the game, but because of the fear of the one-hit knockout and not playing down Dynamax and Necrozma, and maybe that's, my fault. Maybe I should just put that dude down anyway, and not having the 3 Malamars, I basically make myself stuck, not being able to attack, not having enough energies, or not being able to switch. So we end up, giving him free turns for him to do his shit. So it really is quite sad because I'm basically losing to myself. If it wasn't for those situations, this game would have been even over by now, long by now. Just getting easy one-hit knockouts with Necrozma GX and Hoopa. Super simple. So I can't really do much here. We can't even use Prismatic Burst. That's not really gonna do the thing. Do a bunch of damage, not knock out Zoroark GX, and then he uses Ice Roller or some shit. The good news is that Necrozma GX has a very good GX attack, and this is the first time I'm actually going to use its GX attack ever in a game. Black Ray GX. With my opponent having so many GXs out, we're going to use the Field Blower. Let's get rid of his shit too. The Frying Pan thing, that's a bitch, and the Float Stone. With the Black Ray GX attack, I actually get a lot of hope in the game, because if it wasn't for that, this game would have been over. I'm going to lose my main attacker, not being able to get one-hit knockouts and shit, and I'll basically be outpaced. But with Black Ray GX, I put him in a position where all of his dudes are damaged, so now I can use my one prize dudes, Giratina, and even Hoopa, and those guys can get the job done. Even if he uses Acerola on one of them, he can't use it on everybody, and he is going to have to promote one of his damage Pokemon. Even Scizor GX, with 100 HP damage on it, even with all the resistant bullshit it can do, block and damage, Giratina should be able to get the job done if Hoopa can't. So at least Necrozma GX did some nice little shit here. Puts him basically in the position he's been putting me, having a bunch of damage dudes. So I can't necessarily survive 2 hits and get 2 attacks. Excuse me. Because if Necrozma GX get 2 attacks off before dying, get 2 knockouts, it would have been a wrap, like I've said before. But this way, at least I put him in a rough spot with a bunch of damage dudes. So let's see if it works. Because it's not necessarily enough to seal the game in my favor. Okay. So let's see what it's going to do. Attaches a Metal Energy on Scizor, and it decides to promote Scizor here. But it's still promoting a damage to it, really. And it's still really, he lost the DC too, so I was wondering if it was a good idea. So my stadium is out, Altar of the Moon, it's over there, he didn't get rid of it, so that's good. I don't have to worry about Switch and Floatstone now. So we just need to promote the Hoopa X, since it can retreat with a 1 Psychic Energy on. Worked out that it has one. And Giratina is going to be able to do exactly 110 with all the chunk damage block it's going to do. It still does just enough to get exactly a knockout, a 2-hit knockout. And I'm going to attach an energy on Hoopa too. And Necrozma isn't really going to do anything else more. I used both of them out. The rest is going to be decided through these Pokemon right here. Giratina and Hoopa. Okay, so let's use Lily too. Check out my deck first. 9 cards, yeah, it should be alright. So use Lily. I see the Fury Belt here too. And it's an interesting question where to attach it. Giratina, it doesn't matter. It gets knocked out because of weakness anyway. So let's put it on Hoopa, the regular one. Hoopa X doesn't have enough. Has too much damage to survive even with the Fury Belt. And Giratina, just about enough to get a knockout, man. If it just was 10 short, like if it did 150, I wouldn't be able to get knockout. So I'm at 1 prize. So I'm thinking, what is he gonna do? Do I have this? All of his GX dudes are damaged. There's even the shit of just sniping the Tapu Lele GX2 with Hoopa, but unfortunately my opponent has Guzma, only needs 2 prizes, so Hoopa X, an easy thing to kill, and it's basically GG for my opponent. I still think Scizor GX isn't that good, even though I lost this game. It's mostly due to bad luck, but it is what it is. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. Zebro24, what's up?